Hello students, welcome to the class on editorial decode, and in this class I will not be dealing with the lead editorial. Rather, I will be dealing with a very important topic that is related to international relations. Now, this topic relates to the Wassenaar Arrangement. Now, from examination point of view, this will help you in General Studies Mains Examination Paper 2. Now, what is this Wassenaar Arrangement and how it is beneficial for India, because India has got entry to this arrangement, Wassenaar Arrangement. Now, in order to understand this Wassenaar Arrangement, we need to go in the history of geopolitics. Now, when it comes to the international relations, when it comes to the equation between the diplomatic powers, when it comes to the geopolitical tectonics, it is important to understand the power equation between the countries. And in order to understand the power equation between the countries, we need to assess the availability of the resources with the nations, with the countries. Now, with respect to the availability of the resources, we particularly need to assess their strength with respect to the nuclear technology, with respect to the weaponry that they possess. Now, this weaponry could be anything. It could be chemical weaponry, it could be biological weaponry. And it also relates to the accessibility to the conventional weapons which could be used for the nuclear purpose. Now, geopolitics is all about power, and power is all about what kind of weaponry you possess. And the possession of the weaponry, the regime of the possession of the weaponry is all discriminatory in nature. So first of all, we need to understand this discriminatory regime with respect to the weapons. Now, what is this discriminatory regime? Now, after World War II, we had seen a new kind of forces unfolding at the global geopolitical landscape. Now, these forces led to the change in the alteration and the equation between the different countries. New technology came into being in the form of nuclear technology, the way it was used in Second World War. Now, when it comes to the nuclear technology, it was possessed by the very few countries like US, UK, Germany, Russia. So these were the few countries that were possessing this nuclear technology. And this possession of the nuclear technology had created a kind of an inequality between the countries that were not possessing this technology and the countries that were possessing this technology. So after World War II, these countries that were possessing the nuclear technology, they had taken a jump with respect to the geopolitical power in comparison to the other countries that were not possessing this technology. So the countries that were not possessing this technology wanted to gain this technology, but the ones which were having it never wanted it to get decentralized. So the Western world primarily was not interested in giving this technology to the developing countries. So this primarily resulted in creating up of such informal agreements, arrangements, and informal conventions which did not allow the decentralization of the nuclear power, the decentralization of the chemical weapons, the decentralization of the biological weapons, or the decentralization of the conventional weapons which could have a dual use purpose. So this was done by coming out with arrangements like in the form of Wassenaar Arrangement. Now, the Wassenaar Arrangement related to the conventional weaponry which could have a dual use. Dual use means for nuclear purpose. Then you had the Australia group. Now, this Australia group related to the chemical and the biological weapons. Developed world did not want that the lesser developed countries or the countries that don't possess these weapons should actually have these weapons. Another agreement was MTCR, Missile Technology Control Regime. So this MTCR did not want the other countries to have this. And the fourth was NSG, Nuclear Supplier Group. So these were the four informal agreements that were created between the countries in order to dissuade the developing countries from assessing the weaponry, which could actually give them a push with respect to the power equation. So this was something that was not allowed. So an environment was created. But of late, the countries like India, which have acted responsibly with respect to the geopolitical work, they wanted to have access to the sophisticated weaponry. And it was possible only if one would become part of these groups. So recently India has become a part of MTCR, Missile Technology Controlled Regime. And India has also become recently a member of Wassenaar Arrangement. Becoming a member of this will make it easy for India to have access to the conventional weapons. Now with respect to the nuclear energy, India, despite not being member of NPT, it was provided waiver by the nuclear supplier group in order to have access to the civilian and nuclear technology. So India has access to the civilian nuclear technology, and India has already signed agreement with numerous countries. We have an agreement with Japan, we have an agreement with France, we have an agreement with the United States of America, but that is all for the civilian purposes. We don't have the access to the technology from the other countries for using it for the weaponry purpose, for the military purpose. For that, India will actually need the membership of NSG, and that is something that is actually not allowed by China, because the membership to these groups is provided to the new member on the basis of the majority member consensus. And majority here means complete majority. So every member should actually have a consensus in order to allow some other country to become part of it. So now the geopolitical equation has changed, because India has got membership to MTCR. India has already got membership to Wassenaar Arrangement. So we need to actually discuss this Wassenaar Arrangement's significance with respect to the geopolitical equation. Now presently China is not having the membership of Wassenaar Arrangement. China is not a member of MTCR, but China is a member of nuclear supplier group. So Wassenaar Arrangement is nothing but it has provided in the India a push in terms of geopolitical equation, because we can have better access to the weaponry now, the conventional weaponry. So this was all for the class. You can subscribe to this channel. Name of the channel is Brainy IAS. You can contact us at 84594000000 in case you're interested in joining the classes at Delhi or at Chandigarh. So this was all for the day. Bye bye. Take care. Have a nice day.